Hello friends, today we'll discuss a very important article of the Constitution, which is the Article 356. Article 356 of the Indian Constitution. Now the Constitution gives the President of India the power to suspend the state government, or to say कि हम president rule ले आते हैं. It gives the power to the president. So the president here becomes all powerful to suspend the state government and impose precedence rule in any state in the country on the grounds of failure of the constitutional machinery. This is important. So the Article 356 talks about the precedence rule which is imposed on the grounds of the failure of the constitutional machinery by the president. So the president here becomes all powerful. It is also known as the state emergency or the constitutional emergency. It is also known as the state emergency or the constitutional emergency. So the Article 356, which talks about the president's rule, is also known as the state emergency or the constitutional emergency. Now, how is it misused? Article 356 has been misused more than 125 times in the country. And it is usually seen that it was less for genuine reasons and more for political considerations. So that is the reason we call it the misuse of Article 356. Indira Gandhi used Article 356 27 times. This was the maximum it was misused by. In most cases, to remove the majority governments across the country. Similarly, when the Janta government came into power in 1977, the Janta government removed 9 state governments when it was first time elected and when it first time formed the government. So it was misused more than 125 times in the country. Now that is where we find the need to bring safeguards. अगर कोई safeguards ही नहीं होंगे, then the Article 356 can be misused even more larger number of times. So अगर हम safeguards की बात करें, then in 1994 the Supreme Court in the SR Bommai case by a majority decision overturned एक जो long tradition था that the Article 356 was not really subject to review by the courts. Article 356 earlier could not be reviewed by the courts. इस चीज को overturn किया SR Bommai case ने 1994 में. And after the SR Bommai case, the case became so important that after the SR Bommai case, we had the SR Bommai case laid, the verdict said, and that it laid down the conditions. SR Bommai case ने conditions lay down किए under which the state governments may be dismissed. Now there were supposed to be conditions. SR Bommai case ऐसे safeguards लेकर आया after which there were to be certain conditions under which the state governments may be dismissed. आप ऐसे ही dismiss नहीं कर सकते हैं. You ought to have certain conditions that will be there for the state governments to be dismissed. Now, what else can we talk about this? If we talk about the parliamentary approval and the duration, if we talk about the parliamentary approval, अगर हम parliamentary approval की बात करें for the approval of president's rule, then it must be approved by both the houses. It has to be approved by both the houses of the parliament within 2 months and has to be approved by simple majority. Now the President's Rule, which is the Article 356, इसके अप्रूवल के लिए both the houses are supposed to approve it by simple majority within 2 months. Okay? Now initially, if we talk, initially क्या केस था? Initially ऐसा है that it is valid for 6 months. Initially valid for 6 months. The precedence rule can be extended maximum. अगर हम maximum extension की बात करें तो maximum it can extend to 3 years. लेकिन अगर ये 3 years की बात करें then it has to have an approval in every 6 months. So 6 months के लिए it can extend, but the maximum extension can be of 3 years with 6 months का approval, with every 6 months का approval. This was for the approval of the precedence rule in the state or the state emergency. Now, if we talk about the revocation, if we talk about the revocation or revocating Article 356 in the state, then the proclamation of precedence rule may be revoked by the president at any time. Revocation can be done by the president. It does not require parliamentary approval. तो हमने देखा कि parliamentary approval by both the houses is needed in simple majority within 2 months for the approval of precedence rule, but not in the case of revocation. Revocation can be done by the president. It does not require parliamentary approval. So this is it for Article 356. If you have any doubts, please do comment and ask. Thank you.